Welcome to the Substitute for NBA Draft Scouting video for power forward prospect Anthony Davis from Kentucky, where he won most of the National Player of the Year awards, had one of the best statistical seasons for a freshman in history, and is widely considered a lock to go #1 in this year's draft. I'm going to start with his shot blocking, which is his standout trait and his calling card. What makes him a great shot blocker is a combination of things. He's got amazing length and reach. He moves just about as well as any big man, and I'll get to that later. And he's got a great sense of awareness and really understands the mental game of defense. And it's this last part that I probably like the most, due to the fact that he really gets how to control the game defensively on like a cerebral, territorial level, and understands that most of what makes great defense doesn't show up on the stat sheet. It's about closing our space and blocking players who want to drive in, and really knowing where to be at all times, and he really gets that. Some shot blockers in the NBA, it's just about the block for them, but Davis understands that defense comes down to a lot more than that. This is showing just how high I can get. As you can see, it's pretty much insane. This is showing his speed running down the floor. He really moves as fast as a guard, because before his growth spurt not that long ago he was a guard. This is just focusing strictly on his positional work and his movement. Like I said, he just it's not just about how fast he moves, it's the fact that he just is always in control and just very smoothly. It's almost like he kind of glides around the court when he's playing help defense. And he's always aware. He always has great focus on the defensive play in front of him, which players to focus on, which players not to. A great sense of when to go out and when to come back onto the perimeter. And this is something that, like I said, he just understands the game defensively very well. Once again, here's showing his speed again. Again, this is just some more positional work. He's going to end up picking off a pass here, but as you can see, he kind of telegraphs that. On this play, he's going to be forced to recover because the play gets broken a little bit, but as you can see, he comes back and ends up blocking that drive. So it's a pretty good sign again of his ability. Here he uses his hands well on this guy. Knows to get back on the play underneath the basket, and then turns and blocks that shot. One thing about Davis at Kentucky is that even though he has mobility on the perimeter, they used him to protect the basket more often than not. And one of the reasons why is that his teammates weren't that great at covering for him when he got stuck on the perimeter. But I also think it just plays to his strengths as a shot blocker. And I think in the NBA, they're going to see his team's going to see him the same way, is that you want him near the basket as much as possible. Here's showing him get beat on the perimeter, showing he still has some stuff to learn. But obviously he's so young. Here's his post defense, which is considered one of his biggest concerns because he just doesn't have the bulk of the strength. One thing I did like though is how well he moved his feet on post defense, and as you can see, he backs up but keeps in control and uses his hands well. And I think this is a good sign for his post defense because it just shows that he's good at playing the player. This is obviously the big concern, is that Jeff Whiffy just overpowers him there. Here's his offense. He goes up, what's that, catch and release. The thing that I think gives him the most offensive potential is that if he can develop a game where he faces towards the basket and drives to the rim, that could make him really dangerous offensively, because he has a great first step and explosion. He's got good ball handling and good instincts and fluidity, obviously. But what that skill kind of reminds me of is Chris Bosh. He used to be the best at facing up and driving to the basket like that and getting to the free throw line. though Miami doesn't use that skill as much as Toronto did. Here's some lob-in and tip-in passes. Obviously, the timing that makes him a great shot blocker should also make him a great finisher in plays like this. And the timing and the length, that is. That's a really nice play, kept in control. Got it in. There you go. This is showing some of his scoring attempts around the rim. I actually did like some of what I saw from his post moves, even though he's not known for it. As you can see, he's going to look pretty comfortable with some spins and fluidity in ball handling. The biggest weakness I saw is he just didn't finish the plays. He just didn't finish it as well after he made his moves. But that could be correctable, and with some more strength as he gets older and some more experience, I actually don't think he's a lost cause in the post, even though he's not considered a threat there right now. I think he has the base to eventually have some potential to be a back-to-the-basket player, because very little big men at his age are good in the post. Have a lot of post moves, but he looked pretty solid to me. This is his shooting. I like the shooting for him because he always seemed pretty square and balanced, and like the rest of his game, fundamentally sound. And because of his height, he's going to be able to release those shots at a good height that's hard to guard. And I think if he could get that drive to the basket type of game going, defenders will have to play off him, and then he'll have that shot open a lot. And likewise, if he can become a really good jump shooter, teams will have to play him close enough that it'll help him drive to the basket. So those two skills can complement each other quite well. Again, even on his misses, they look pretty good. They look sound and balanced and under control. Due to his very recent history as a guard, I'm guessing he's taken a lot of jump shots and developed that skill pretty decently. That was a handoff play. I'm going to show you more of his passes. He didn't ball handle on the perimeter that much, so he didn't have a ton of opportunity to pass, but when he did, I thought they were pretty decent. I think he saw the angles on the court pretty well. I think his vision looked good, and he looked like he was in control, which is a good thing. And he had a good assist to turnover ratio in college, so that's usually a pretty good sign. This is what I thought was a weakness, which is screen setting. He just didn't hold them long enough, and really didn't touch the opposing players quite enough when setting them. So they're almost like picks, but they didn't really accomplish the goal. But he seems like the type to eventually be committed to setting screens, and once he gets bigger and more experienced, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that. This is his rebounding, which he should be good at in the NBA because he really controls the vertical airspace well. He positioned himself well under the basket, even against bigger players like Jeff Riffey. And yeah, with that length, he should be able to go up and get a lot of balls. Again, he just seemed fundamentally sound doing it. Here again is some more rebounds. The thing I could see him being really elite at is offensive rebounding, because he has the length and the timing and the quick feet. So it actually wouldn't even surprise me if he's one of the best in the league at offensive rebounding, if not the best in the league. Finally, these are just some more sorted clips where I'll give my general thoughts. Davis clearly is an elite defensive prospect because he has the shot blocking and the great movement, and he understands the game mentally. And it seems like he'll be someone who could both block shots and get out on the perimeter and guard the pick and roll and hedge and stuff. So he's kind of the complete package as like a help defense prospect. Offensively, I did like a lot of what I saw based on the fact that I think he could have a game where he drives to the basket due to his first step. I think he could get that jump shot developed well. And I did like some of what I saw in the post for his age. Maybe he doesn't become elite at all three of those things, but if he can become pretty good at two of them, then that alone will make him a pretty good offensive option. And I would go as far to say that because of his physical tools and his basketball instincts and the skill level I'm seeing right now, if he was just an offensive prospect, I would probably still take him top 5 because I think the potential is there. A good comparison is probably Perry Jones III, who Davis was guarding earlier in the video. He's projected top 10 as an offense-only prospect, and I think Davis is a better offensive prospect than him in almost every way. So if you add that to arguably once or twice a generation type of defensive potential, it becomes pretty clear that he's the number 1 guy in this draft, and the one guy who really has unique perennial all-star type of talent, and who could really kind of turn a franchise around. So yeah, he's kind of the big prize, and I think he's the real deal. The thing I didn't even mention is that in terms of his character and his leadership, he basically draws waves from everybody in comparisons to kind of the way Tim Duncan carries himself, as kind of calm and nothing flashy and all about winning and helping his teammates. So he's the kind of guy that culturally a team could really revolve around, it seems like, just from what I've heard about him. So that's just the icing on the cake for the team that gets number 1. So that's Anthony Davis, and thank you for watching this video, and I'll try to get some more up in the next little while.